As I look at this charge of defraud the United States and its historic import, I'm wondering what your perspective is on how that is being used in this case in this prosecution by Jack Smith.
I think, Lawrence, that this is the most important case. There are only 4 charges. All the others have more counts, but there are only 4 counts in this. And if you look at the indictment, it's all, the first 42 pages are built around that law of attempting or actually subverting a lawful function of government. Of course, that lawful function of government is certifying who's the next president. Even people who like Trump or don't like Trump will, yes, let's certify, let's decide who the next president is. And in this indictment, Jack Smith and the grand jury have said, hey, look, the standard here, according to what you read, is dishonesty. A much easier concept to understand for a jury. Dishonesty versus conspiracy or obstruction, which can wind up being a little bit abstract. Then you read through the indictment, and it's stunning. Let's say Trump decides, as he's entitled, to not take the stand. They have got all this testimony from 10 key people saying not just that they disagree with what Trump said about overturning the election, but they specifically told him, and that includes Pence, the Attorney General Bill Barr. It includes Pat Cipollone, the White House counsel, and 7 other people. And you go through the governor of Arizona, the governor of Michigan, Supreme Court justice in Wisconsin. So a jury can sit here and say, oh, this is what Trump says. Here's sworn testimony from 10 people saying, oh, no, I told him that's wrong. The prima facie case of dishonesty will be right there for the jury to see.
I so agree with you that first charge is the simplest and clearest thing that Donald Trump is accused of. And I just want to read for the audience how it's presented. And I think the second and third page of the indictment. It says, from on or about November 14th, 2020, through on or about January 20th, 2021, in the District of Columbia and elsewhere, the defendant, Donald J. Trump, did knowingly combine, conspire, confederate, and agree with co-conspirators, known and unknown to the grand jury, to defraud the United States by using dishonesty, fraud, and deceit to impair, obstruct, and defeat the lawful federal government function by which the results of the presidential election are collected, counted, and certified by the federal government. And Bob, what's so powerful about that as a criminal charge is that we all watched most of that happen. Most of it was happening in many ways out in the open.
Yes, it was very public. And then also, the role of Pence here is absolutely critical. He did what the Constitution and the Electoral Count Act said. He's agonized over it. He's been criticized. And in the book Bob Costa and I did, Peril, we describe additional pressure on Pence. And here's Donald Trump telling him in that period before January 6th, that day or the day before, I don't want to be your friend anymore if you don't do this. Other words, not certify Biden as the next president. You lack courage. You've betrayed us. I made you. You were nothing. Your career is over. So now put yourself in the role of a juror here, and you see Pence beleaguered, beat up, told by his boss, you know, I made you. I'm not going to be your friend anymore. You're betraying me. And clearly, it will be very easy for the prosecutors in this case to show what's in the Constitution and the Electoral Count Act. So you've got, now, you can't tell what a jury is going to do, but this, I think, is cleverly designed to make it juror coherent, that somebody on the jury can actually, this is dishonest, this is pressure, this is contradiction from all these people, not just saying they disagreed, but saying they personally told Donald Trump he was wrong.
Bob, the first version of these scenes that we read was in your book. This is, and now the special prosecutor is basically presenting versions of that will be presenting them to a trial jury in Washington. Did it occur to you as you were working on the book that what you were writing was one of the first things that the special prosecutors would be reading as they approached this case?
You know, that's certainly is possible. Now, give credit to Bill Weld, the former Massachusetts governor, who I talked to about this while Costa and I were working on this book. And Weld was head of the criminal division in the Justice Department in the Reagan administration. And all of what had happened that Trump had done, Weld said to me, look, this is 18 U.S.C. 371, subverting the lawful function of government. And I remember thinking about that, talking to people. As we know, some of Trump's greatest, biggest supporters, like Senator Lindsey Graham, bailed out on him because they looked at all this evidence. In fact, Lindsey Graham had his counsel on the Judiciary Committee at that time. Lindsey Graham was chairman, investigate all of this, Lee Holmes. And he did an honest job of, is there anything to support this? And said, absolutely none. Lee Holmes came to my house and we laid out what the Giuliani and other memos said, and he said, there's just nothing here, not a matter of just less here than Giuliani said. There's absolutely zero.
Bob Woodward, thank you very much for writing the first draft of these scenes for us, and thank you very much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Lawrence.
Thank you.